I didn't do anything.
Now he says Marvin's over there.
Oh, dear. Yeah, except now I gotta get myself back into gear. Okay. God, that's something is missing here. Oh, there they are, right there. Whew. Okay. Ready? All right, thank you for being here. We'd like to welcome you to the City Council regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 6, 2019. At this time, we'd like to call the meeting to order and ask that Mr. Mike Riggs, who is the second counselor in the bishopric of the Young Single Adults Ward for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to please come up and give us a invocation, after which we'd have Councilmember Nancy Smith give us the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful to be here this evening in this City Council meeting. We're grateful for those that are up on the stand and the time and dedication they put in. We're grateful for those in the past that have led this city to where it is today and the prosperity that we have here from the choices that were made. And Father, we ask a special blessing be upon each of them as they make choices for this city, that they'll be mindful of the needs of the city of this present day and of the future. And we bless their families at this time and ask the blessing to be upon them and their families, that they will be blessed and protected as they spend the time and effort and energy to move the city forward. We're grateful for those men and women that serve and protect this community, Father, and ask a special blessing to be with them also, that they'll be protected and watched over as they're providing service and safety for our community. Father, we're grateful for this wonderful country we live in, and we're grateful for those men and women that have provided that protection for us. And we, again, ask blessing for their families and for them and the time and effort and energy they put in. Father, we're grateful for this wonderful community we live in. We are grateful for the moisture we've been blessed with, and ask that will continue to bless us with it, that we can continue to replenish our aquifers. Thus, as we make the decisions tonight in the City Council, again, that they can, Council, be mindful of those things that are best for the city. And these things we do ask for in thy beloved Savior name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Please join me and face the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Councilmember Smith. We appreciate it. Okay. We have a whole bunch of speaker cards here tonight. After we get to the roll call, we'll get to those. So, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilwoman Gussie. Here. Councilmember Manfredi.
Here.
Councilmember Smith. Here. Councilmember Vitiello.
Here.
Vice Mayor Wade.
Here.
Mayor Price.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. We have nothing for item 3. Any proclamations at this time? Report from the mayor and also from council. So, council, at this time, anything you'd like to report to the public? Oh, who are we pointing out here?
This was first.
No, I didn't read that.
All right.
He was just stuck that way.
Ladies first.
All right. We'll go Councilmember Brown and then Councilmember Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On July the 18th, I had the pleasure of going to the ribbon cutting for Breaks Plus. As you know, Breaks Plus has been open for a while, but they had the official ribbon cutting on that day. And that was a great experience because Steve is the manager there, and he welcomes all to come and give great service. I believe the mayor's already had service there, and he gives reasonable prices. We're pleased with that. On July 22nd, our executive committee of the Pinkwa Board met with Congressman Tom Harrell to give him a rundown on the water issue at Pinal County and to serve as his water source in the future. On July 25th, along with other colleagues, went to the Fire Administration Building's groundbreaking ceremony, which was a great experience because we have a great fire department. On the 27th, I had 2 ribbon cuttings at the Compassionate Yoga Company and the Great Escape Company. Both will add sufficiently to our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Appreciate it. Councilmember Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. So on July 19th, we had an awesome senior lunch and learn. If you haven't come and checked us out on the senior lunch and learns, please do. We had 73 people. We had the county assessor, Douglas Wolf, and he was just really fabulous in teaching seniors how they can go about getting exclusions if they qualify and freezing their property tax rate if they qualify for that as well. So seniors were very, very interested in it. On August 16th, which is a Friday of this month, we have Christian Price. Anyone know him? Yeah. He's going to be speaking not as the mayor, but his official business in terms of financing and helping seniors understand tips of financing. So that's going to be really outstanding as well. So please pre-register if you're interested in doing that. I also went to the ribbon cutting of the two businesses, one being the yoga studio and salon that's held at Stage Stop. Fascinating place, beautifully decorated, great people there working, and I encourage you to go check it out if you're into yoga. And then also a brand new lawyer who does family legal advice and documents, and she was really just a professional appearance, a professional presentation, and nicely decorated office also at Stage Stop. So I encourage you to check out those new businesses, and I think you'll really enjoy them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ditto, as far as it goes. But I do want to definitely recognize the Fire Administration Building and how wonderful it is that the fire department finally will have a building that is reflective of their professional service and their service to the community. It was a wonderful event. It's a beautiful building. Hopefully, it's going to be pretty close to being done by the end of the year if I think things go correctly. But don't quote me if I'm wrong. Send a note to Vince. But yeah, it was really a wonderful day. It was pretty hot out there, but it was a great day to move the dirt for the fire department. Our first responders, both fire and police, do an excellent job for us, and so it felt really, really good to be able to stand there and say, here's something that you can finally be proud of for administration. So, thank you.
Perfect. Anyone else this time? Okay, I'll give you a brief report. Attended the ADOT meeting in Cottonwood, gave them an update obviously on the overpass and where we're looking at the studies for 347 and the fixes along those lines. Also wanted to give you a quick announcement. The ADOT board will be holding their meeting that I go to every month here in Maricopa on September 20th at 9 a.m. in this chamber. So if you want to come and listen to how ADOT works on the rest of the state, not just here locally, but everywhere, it's a fascinating understanding of how and where the money lies, where it doesn't lie, the amount of need there is, and the resources that are available. It's really fascinating stuff. So I encourage you to come and stay for the entire thing. Lasts usually an hour or two, but again, starting here at 9 a.m. on the September 20th, 9 a.m. Also, several business grand openings attended, which was great. We'd love to see our businesses open. And then also a couple of things here in the way of announcements. We have extended hours at Copper Sky. If you haven't seen those are new. We've really been doing our best to listen and find financing so that we can make those things happen. So that is something you should check out. Also, one of the things that's interesting is we have a new esports league that will be starting, and it probably doesn't pertain to too many of you in this room, but it does to your kids and grandkids, I guarantee it. And basically, it is one of the nation's fastest growing sports leagues, and it's all about video gaming, and it's really a big deal. And I know that seems kind of crazy, but the reality is these kids are making millions of dollars doing it, and it is one of the fastest growing. Now, the city is one of the very first ones in the entire state to put this in play, and so we've had many other cities already come to us and want to inquire and find out. We've been working closely with MUSD and some of their champions and folks. So I mean, it really is a neat thing that is evolving here. So that is also hosted at Copper Sky and a part of the the leagues that we have there, so I encourage you or your kids or your grandkids to check it out. And then maybe, more applicable to some of you in this room, pickleball. Pickleball will be opening. We have a set of pickleball courts opening on August 24th. That's a Saturday at 7 in the morning to 9 a.m. So don't tell me there's not something for everybody, right? There is. But there's a lot of things going on in this city. If you were here for the work session, there's so much on the horizon and stuff we haven't even gotten into yet that is about to pop out of the ground. So we're very excited for the growth and for all the things that are happening. And that concludes the report from me at this time, minus one thing. I got a thank you letter from NABI, which is the Native American Basketball Invitational. We have been a participant and a sponsor for that for many years as we partner with Chen, our neighbor, and we like to try and do things that benefit everybody, but especially them and our citizens and the surrounding areas. So again, this is a wonderful opportunity. I won't sit here and read all the many accomplishments that they had, but they have people come from as far as New Zealand, from Alaska. I'll tell you, it's really hard to play basketball in July in Arizona if you're from Alaska. So they really did yeoman's work and overcame some tough challenges. But they gave us this beautiful plaque, and just wanted to present it to council and to the citizens. So thank you. And that concludes my report at this time. We will move to a report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You heard me for about an hour, but I do have one item of significance I'd like to bring to your attention. I have a certificate sitting in front of me that we originally received about a month ago, but for some odd reason it had my name on it, which should not have been, because I deserved 0 credit, and the people who really deserve the credit should have their name on it. And after I brought it to their attention, they refused to take credit and instead put the city of Maricopa's name on it, which just speaks even more highly of them. And I may not get this right, but I would like Angel Ozimalam, which I think I pronounced close to right. I did good. To come forward, and I would like her to introduce her entire finance team, because this is the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada, presented to the City of Maricopa the Certificate of Recognition for Budget Preparation. But they deserve the credit, so Council, I would ask that you would receive this on their behalf, but Angel, would you please recognize all of your team, because there's so many people that go into making this work. And come get this, Angel. I'd walk over to you, but I'm trapped. They didn't leave me an exit. And Council, thank you. So, and a lot of your team is here. Have them come up.
I have my senior accountant, Valeria Sattler. Would you come up, please? I have our purchasing manager, Kathleen Shipman. And our accountant, too, Jackie Martinez. There are several others who could not make it this evening, but I just want to thank them publicly for their help, their assistance, and their support. I could not have done it alone, and so, ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you, ladies, and the entire financial team. Everything runs with your help, so we appreciate it. Thank you for all you've done. The budget is a monstrosity of a task, and they spend lots and lots and lots of hours combing through it and making sure that it's right. So, again, many thanks. This time we'll move to the call to the public. I have lots of speaker cards, so we're going to hold you to the 3 minutes. When the beeper goes off, I'll be cutting you a little short, so I apologize in advance, but that's just the way it is in order to make sure that we get to everybody. So I'll go in the order I received them here. So first and foremost, I have Elizabeth Howell. Please come forward.
I'm Elizabeth Howell, and I'm here this evening to address the City Council, Mayor Price, the City Manager, and Vanessa, my friend who helps me. But I'm here to call attention to the fact that there's one phrase in the Pledge of Allegiance that we have been saying incorrectly for several years probably. It's the phrase, "One nation under God." You should have on your desk there a copy of the pledge and also a page that shows where this comes from. It has the United States Code on the bottom of that one page, and it does show there's no comma between the words "nation" and "under God." And so am I encouraging all of us citizens, as well as the council and other members, that as you go through life, when you come to a situation where the pledge is being said, you might stand up and say, "Wait a minute, we need to make sure we say this correctly, and this is the correct way to say it." And it's "one nation under God" without a pause in the middle. I also have visited with Dr. Lobman at the district office, and I visited with the principal or assistant principal of all of the charter and public schools here in Maricopa. And I'm delighted to tell you that I got positive responses from everyone. And they already were playing, "Oh, I know how we can do this. I know how we can get the kids to say it right."
Item, do you want to speak here at the call to public? Okay.
For over a decade. The HOA can't build anything on 1/10 of an acre. The only worthy future for that piece of land is to add it to the 8 acres that you're buying tonight. I'd like to suggest that the city consider purchasing or condemning that little piece of land with possible compensation to the HOA in alignment with the price per acre you're approving tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. That'll take us to Patty Cotray.
Good evening, Mayor Price, Vice Mayor Wade. My name is Patty Cotray, and today I am wearing my Maricopa Football Boosters cap. So I know it's kind of hard to believe that with it being so hot out that football season is approaching, but it is here. And we have a couple of exciting preseason events for you, and we hope that you guys will be able to come out. This Saturday, we are having our first and hopefully annual Nhs Rams Experience. It's going to be at the stadium from 4 to 8:30. We're going to have our traditional black and red scrimmage with our varsity and JV, but we're also going to have inflatable bounce houses, games, activities. It's going to be for the whole family. We're going to have some food trucks. Admission is free, although some of the activities may require some money, and of course the food trucks. The other thing is we're doing a cow pie fundraiser, bingo fundraiser. Now, I'm from the Midwest, and I didn't even know this existed. But we have Roxy Claire, which will be coming out around 5 o'clock, and she'll be going onto our bingo grid to deposit her pie on a winning square. So tickets are $20 a piece, and they're still being sold on our Facebook page at Maricopa, Nhs Rams Football. On the 17th, we are having our annual golf tournament at the Duke this year. We have a shotgun start at 8 a.m. It's $125 per player or $500 for foursome. There's more information you can get from that on our website at maricoparamsfootball.com. We're going to open our season on Friday, August 16th with the scrimmage versus against Notre Dame Prep at 6 p.m. at the field. So I hope to see the entire community out of there. We start our official season away game on August 23rd in McClintock, and our first home game will be on August 30th against Millennium at 7 p.m. So we hope that the community comes out and enjoys Friday night lights. Thank you.
Who will be playing on the 30th?
Huh?
Who will be playing the 30th?
On the 30th? McClintock. No, Millennium.
Millennium?
Yeah, Millennium on the 30th.
At what time is the experience?
The experience is from 4 to 8:30 this Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. I think we were all fiercely writing, so apology. All right, thank you. That'll take us to Mary Eileen Flanagan.
My name is Eileen Flanagan. I'm from Hidden Valley. And Mayor Price and members of the City Council, I wanted to return to address one of the reasons I'm told that we need a new route for Interstate 11. This is a route that rips apart our community and destroys our homes. I hope to show you that maybe your reasons for supporting this fiasco are not based in solid facts. Tonight I will address the projected population growth. I was told 3 weeks ago that the reason we need this new freeway is that there will soon be 600,000 people in western Pinal County. Well, if you listen to the predictions in the early 2000s, there are going to be over 150,000 people living in the city of Maricopa by now. As we know, that has not happened. Studies of projected growth are and will remain always just a guess based on what we've seen in the past. But there will always be additional factors that intervene to make these predictions wrong. But for the moment, let's run with 600,000 people in western Pinal County. This number pretty much presumes that agriculture will have, for all intents and purposes, cease to be a major factor as the land will now be growing homes. Residential water use per acre is about 3 times that of agriculture. Just where will all the water come from? Developers buy farmers' water credits, but starting this year, those credits will be extinguished and fewer will be available. Even if they exist, there are no guarantees of adequate water. Arizona Farm Bureau estimates that 40% of the farmland in Pinal County will have to be fallowed due to inadequate water supply in 2020 alone. Without water, population growth should never happen. We do not have the water to sustain growth at this point, no matter how many farmers' water credits developers buy. So we can pretty much toss out the idea that there will actually be 600,000 people in western Pinal County in the foreseeable future. Maybe we do need infrastructure, but it is not a new freeway. Widen the 238 to Mobile so people can easily connect with the smaller parkway that is being built. Fix the 347. This freeway will do nothing to alleviate that traffic nightmare. Even the parkway from Casa Grande to Maricopa is a good idea. The green and purple routes for this freeway are not good ideas. Let's face facts, and this freeway is a waste of time, money, and resources. We need to invest in the existing infrastructure and not waste taxpayer dollars. Please invest in the orange route, not the new purple and green routes through our neighborhood. Save money, save resources, save people's dreams. Let's not be fooled by specious arguments.
Thank you, Mary Eileen. Appreciate it. Next up is Dr. Tracy Lopman.
Mayor and council members, my name is Tracy Lopman, and I have the privilege of serving as the Superintendent in Maricopa Unified School District. I wanted to take the opportunity to thank the City of Maricopa, our council, Mr. Horst, and the Development Services Department for their partnership over the last several months. In case anyone hasn't heard, we are 500 students over capacity at Maricopa High School, and we have opened 16 portable classrooms this school year as a temporary solution. The on-time opening, having classrooms ready for teachers to move in on July 11th, and students to start learning on July 22nd would not have happened without your support and partnership. I want to thank Mr. Nathan Oliet, Director of Community Services, for inviting Maricopa Unified to participate in Maricopa Swims. In partnership with the city, located at Copper Sky, and generously sponsored by Global Water, we have first graders from 2 schools, Maricopa Elementary and Butterfield Elementary, engaged in swim and water safety lessons over the next 4 weeks. This is a game changer for our kids. We're so thrilled to be included in the pilot and know that it's the start of something huge for our city. While I have the microphone in a couple more seconds, I just want to give a progress report on the results of the Maricopa Y and the strategic planning that we began a year ago. We opened the Maricopa Community Preschool this July. It is full with a waiting list. And that's because the word is out about our full-day academic program led by certified teachers teaching a research-based curriculum. We're currently licensing more space so we can serve more families in Maricopa. Finally, I want to celebrate the students and staff at Maricopa High School. The 2019 graduation rate increased by 10%. 2019 was also a record-setting year in college scholarships earned at over $8 million. We had to get that print up on the billboard before we had the final count. And this year, we launched the AP Capstone Diploma Program, one of 2 in Pinal County and the only one in the city of Maricopa. So if you participated in our strategic planning, thank you. It worked. Our dreams are becoming a reality. And Mayor Price and Council, I'll be back in the coming weeks to share more factual information in greater detail about Maricopa Unified School District, the construction of a new high school, and just how bright our future can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lopman. Appreciate it. And the last speaker card I have this time is Demetrius Seabrooks.
Good evening, Mayor Price, Vice Mayor Henry Wade, council members. I just want to come and bring, I talked to Henry yesterday. There's an issue that I'm seeing every day. We got the new Circle K on our Honeycut Quarter. So as I sit there pretty much every day, there's almost an accident. Now, if everybody knows, the entrances and the exits are made specifically directional. People nowadays do not have common sense. It's just not there. It's gone. But it's going to take for someone's family to get affected. So who's in charge of putting the signs where no left turn, right turn only? Is that on Circle K? Is it on the city? Where do we need to go to get these in place? Whether or not they're going to follow them or not. But at least they'll be in place. So when they do the wrong, because you have people turning left out of the entrance, literally, crossing double lines, double yellow, which is a citation. So who do we need to talk to about, you pointing, Rick, who are you pointing to? Don't put it back there. I mean, it's only been a couple of accidents there. I mean, I'm just saying, people don't have common sense, and so what they're saying is, since there's no signs, it's not illegal. Right. Which is not true.
Absolutely.
If there was a policeman there and he cited you, you have no argument because just because the sign's not there doesn't mean it's illegal. So I just want to bring that to their attention. Thank you, Rick. You point. You pass the buck.
When you pick those big Slurpee cups up, you can't see anything.
That's the problem. Let's raise the price on these Slurpees.
Or could put the exits directions on the inside of the bottom of the cup. One of the two.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much for bringing that to the attention. We appreciate it. What's that? Okay. Go ahead. So at this time, I'd like to invite anyone else who hasn't put in a speaker card to please join us at the podium if you so desire. Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Brown.
I'd like to give a little bit of information to tag on what Elizabeth brought to us. That particular wording, under God, was inserted by the late Congressman Louis Barbeau of Detroit, who represented the 14th District, which was my district. Louis Barbeau, prior to being a congressman, some 30 years, had been the Belgium consul in Detroit, and the only piece of legislation he ever sponsored got through the House and the Senate was this wording. Very religious man, represented the far east side of Detroit, St. Clair Shores, and the 5 Grosse Points. So I wanted to give Louis a little respect here, since that was his wording.
That's pretty cool. Thank you. Vice Mayor Wade. That's great. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to invite you to a prayer vigil that's going to take place on Thursday at Copper Sky Amphitheater starting at 7:30. It is an opportunity for several members of clergy in the community clergy to offer prayer for several different, focus their prayers on several different issues. For youth, for the community, for first responders, for victims, for the church in general, for the family. So So I ask that you join me, 7:30, Thursday evening, Tropical Sky, and we'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Vice Mayor, for clarification, is that going to be inside or outside Copper Sky?
Amphitheater.
In the amphitheater, okay, so right there by the lake. Perfect, thank you. Anyone else at this time like to approach the council? Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the call to the public and move on. As we follow our agenda, this takes us to item 7.1, which is the minutes. Council, do you have any questions on that? If not, I'd accept a motion, please.
So move.
Have a motion, is there a second? There's the second. Any further discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Continuing on to our consent agenda, Council, I didn't hear anything from anybody earlier, but does anyone have anything they wish to pull from consent at this time? Okay, seeing nothing, can I have a motion to approve consent, please? There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion on consent at this time? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And that'll take us to our regularly scheduled meeting agenda, which is items 9 through 9.5. So 9.1, this is the mayor and city council shall hear public comment. This is a public comment period, or public hearing, regarding a request by citizen initiation, Benjamin Johnson, on behalf of Heritage Academy of Maricopa, to rename West Lucera Lane to West Heroes Way in accordance with the city's street name change policy. This item will be presented by Ryan Wozniak. Or actually, sorry, it's going to be Rudy.
Yes.
Didn't see you standing there. Sorry, Rudy.
Ryan had an emergency issue at home, so
No worries.
presenting on his behalf.
Thank you.
Real quick, before we open the public hearing, Mayor, council members, as mentioned, this is a request has been made by Heritage Academy of Maricopa for approval of the proposed street name change from Lucera Lane to the renamed Heroes Way within the subdivision of Glenwell, parcel 17. Some history on why street name change policies come into play with City Council. In 2014, Council approved a street name change policy, and within the approved policy, it authorized citizens initiated street name changes and outlined public notification processes or procedures. As part of the public outreach requirements, street forms notifications were conducted, which is a mailed notice, a posted sign, and the city's website article on the city's website. And it outlined public information for tonight's public hearing. With that, we ask that council go ahead and open the public hearing for any public comments, if any.
Okay, great. The time is now open. If you wish to approach the council and discuss this item and this item only, you may do so. Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time and move on to the next item, because that is the subsequent portion. It's the resolution. It's, again, item 19-38, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Maricopa approving the renaming of a portion of West Lucera Lane, which is located within the subdivision of Glen Wild in the city of Maricopa, to West Heroes Way. This is for discussion and action. Rudy.
Mayor and councils, we find the proposed changes does not conflict with any existing street names that exist in the rest of the city limits, nor does the request conflict with the industry best practices for street name change policies. Therefore, we recommend approval of the proposed street name change to rename a portion of West Lucera Lane to West Heroes Way within the Glen Wild subdivision. Mayor and council, we have to answer any questions.
Council, any questions at this time? And yes, Councilwoman Gussie.
Now, this goes into a school, the Heritage School, correct? And they asked for the request because it has some meaning behind the school. There's something attached. Heroes Way has an attachment to the school?
Mayor, Councilwoman Gussie, to my knowledge, I have to refer that to the applicant, Mr. Johnson. Do you mind
Okay, Benjamin Johnson, 43902 West Stone Creek Road. Also the AP biology instructor at Heritage Academy. And the Heroes portion of the name is also the nickname of Heritage Academy. We are the Heritage Academy Heroes. And so we would like to have the street name to be Heroes.
And Rudy, are they going to be the only residents impacted by that name change?
There is an HOA park that's there that was impacted, but they have been advertised and duly notified, and they had no opposition of the name change itself.
And one last question. From what I understand, that circle, which is, if you look at it on a map, it's a circle, for all intents and purposes. I don't know the legal description of it, but that circle has one name, in one section, another name in another section, and now we're going to change that name. So we'll have 3 different names for one strip of area. Is that correct?
That's correct. Mayor, Councilmember Gussie, as it goes to the T intersection from Adams Way into that T, as you go to the eastern portion, it'll become Heroes Way. To the west, it'll become, to my knowledge, Jim, I believe it'll be North Conner Way, and as it changes direction, it now goes into the Our Lady Grace development, which is their street name itself.
Which is Santee.
Right. Well, no, St. Michael's, yes.
If I may, Councilwoman Gussie, part of that is because it's east-west corridors, and then part of it's north-south corridors, which has to do with 911 assignments as well, if I'm not mistaken.
And Mayor, Council, it's also part of street name action procedures. As it changes directions, you have those 2 type of street names. But again, as we ran this through our naming procedures and guidelines and best practices, this doesn't violate any type of form of action with the request itself. It's actually practical to have this when it comes to this. So we didn't see any issue with the request.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Council, any other questions at this time? Okay, if there's nothing else, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you very much for being here. This takes us to item 9.3. This is the mayor and city councilors to discuss and possibly take action on making appointments to the various committees whose terms are expired or are vacant. This is for discussion and action. Council, I'm unaware if anyone else has any appointments. I know that I have 2 at this time, so if you'll indulge me. I have an appointment to the Heritage Committee, which again, according to the rules and regulations of the Council for Heritage Committee, you have to live or own a business within the Heritage District boundaries. There are some exceptions, but for all intents and purposes, talking to a few different folks, also had the opportunity to speak with Grace Gomez. She was not able to be here tonight. She's been on this committee before, very influential member of this area, and her health being much better than it has been, asked and we discussed appointing her to the committee. So she's very excited to do so. So with your pleasure, council, I'd like to offer up the name of Grace Gomez. And I think we'll move this as a slate because I have another one here in a minute unless there's some opposition. The other one is for PRL, Parks, Recs, and Library Committee. We also have a standing rule that we like all of our committee members to go to the Citizens Leadership Academy. And this individual has had that opportunity. I've gotten to talk with her and get to know her a little bit. She's someone I think will bring great organization and diversity to this group, and I am very excited for her opinions and ideas. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Ms. Karen Sanchez. Karen, would you stand up, please, and be recognized? There she is. Thank you very much. I'd like to applaud her. So council, at this time, I'd like to propose again Ms. Grace Gomez for the Heritage District Committee and also Ms. Karen Sanchez for the PRL, and that is my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second? Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thanks again. Congratulations. Thank you for being willing to serve, Karen. Thank you. We'll give you another round of applause. Thank you. That'll take us to item 9.4. At this time, this is an ordinance, the ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa approving and adopting an amendment to the city's zoning map to zone certain property described in the zoning case, Zone 19-01, for approximately 28.65 acres of land generally located south of the southeast corner of Bolin and Hartman Road within the City of Maricopa Incorporated limits. The parcel of land is situated in a portion of west half of Section 33 of Township 4, south, Range 4, east of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian. This is in Pinal County, Arizona, and for discussion and action. Rudy, take it away.
Mayor, council members, as mentioned, this is a request by UPS Group on behalf of Maricopa Homes to rezone 28.65 acres of land from existing general rural GR, former zoning code, to medium density residential RS5 as identified in the current zoning code. To provide a better understanding of the residential entitlement process, there is a 3-step process that starts with rezoning, followed by preliminary plat, and ends with final recordation, legal property lines. The applicant on this case is actually on step number 1, zoning, but they are in the process of step number 2 concurrently as we speak.
Okay.
This is the project site shown in the hatch white, located just south from the southeast corner of Bolin Road and Hartman Road, across the street from the Santa Rosa subdivision entrance. As it relates to the public notification process, the applicant has met all requirements of the state and the city, which includes notification letters, legal notice in the local circulator, newspapers, signed postings at the property, and a neighborhood meeting held prior to the P&Z Commission. To this date, staff has not received any form of comment, concerns, or questions on the request itself. On July 8, 2019, the Planning and Zoning Commission made the following findings for approval and recommendation to City Council. The Commission found that the zoning change is consistent with the general plan, and the amendment will promote the orderly growth of the city in a manner that will protect public health, safety, and general welfare. Staff recommends approval of zone change request case number ZON-1901, subject to the conditions of approval stated in the staff report and as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mayor, council members, they'll be more than happy to answer any questions, if any.
Council, questions at this time? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
Second?
Motion and a second. At this time, we'll need a roll call, so move to roll call, please.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes?
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie? Vice Mayor Wade?
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you very much. And that'll take us to item 9.5, also an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa, Arizona, amending the zoning requirements as described in zoning case PAD 19-02 for Stonegate Planned Area Development, or PAD, for approximately 3.84 acres generally situated on the southwest corner of Allen Stevens Parkway and Stonegate Road within the City of Maricopa Incorporated limits. The parcel of land are situated in a portion of Section 35 of Township 4 South, Range 3 East of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian. This is Pinal County, Arizona, and this is for discussion and action. Rudy.
Mayor, council, one more time, separate request. This is a request by Sanchez Associates on behalf of Maricopa Stonegate LLC, a proposed major amendment to the Development Land Use Plan Table, Permitted Uses Table, and Development Standards for the existing Stonegate Plan Area Development. Again, to provide a better understanding of the entitlement process in the commercial development, there's a three-step process that starts with rezoning, followed by the development review permit, and ends with the construction and civil permit. With this current project, we're looking at both a rezoning at this stage. The applicant is just finishing up the development review permit as of a couple weeks ago, and they'll start soon on the construction permit. But in this case, this is just for rezoning, an amendment of the PAD itself. Subject site is 3.84 acres with an existing zoning of PAD zoning with the underlying zoning of CI1, which is the Pinal County nomenclature of light industry. The project site shown in the outline red with the yellow star is just south from Allen Stevens Parkway, east of Stonegate Road, and north from Maricopa Cascarine Highway. The Planning and Zoning Commission found that the amendment is consistent with the general plan subdivision ordinance and applicable to master plans of the city. The site is physically suitable for the proposed use and intensity, and adequate transportation facilities are provided, and the development carries out a more efficient use of the land along with enhanced architectural site design. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of PAD major amendment request PAD 1902, subject to the conditions of approval stated in the staff report and amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mayor, council will be more than happy to answer any questions, if any.
Thank you, Rudy. Any questions, council, on this item at this time? Nope. Again, I think we've been well briefed on it, and Planning and Zoning Commission did an excellent job. So that takes us to a motion. Can I have a motion, please, council?
So moved.
Is there a motion and a second? Second. And a second. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Wade?
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. So that takes us to the end of our agenda, but not quite. We have another item. We had some back and forth last night between staff and the other stakeholders on this agenda item, and so in order to get it back on the agenda in time, we made sure that this meeting was left as is in order to hit the publication laws. According to the state of Arizona, we called a special meeting, and yet we have an executive session at the end of this meeting. So what that means to all of you is don't go anywhere. The excitement's only getting good, and we're going to go ahead and pause this meeting and then move into a city council special meeting to hit item 3.1 on the special council meeting agenda. So with that, I will pause this and then open and call to order the special council meeting on Tuesday, August 6, 2019, and move to a roll call, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes?
Councilwoman Gussie?
Here.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Vitiello?
Here.
Vice Mayor Wade?
Here.
Mayor Price?
Here,
Mr. Mayor,
thanks.
we have a quorum.
All right, sorry about that roll call. I thought you were talking about the item, but that's all right. That'll take us to item 3.1, which is Resolution 19-35. This is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Arizona, Maricopa, Arizona, approving the intergovernmental agreement between Pinal County Flood Control District and the city of Maricopa for the maintenance of flood control improvements in Sorrento. This is for discussion and action. This does get a little tricky in some respects, so I'm going to turn it over to City Manager Horst to explain it, and Dennis, you may want to weigh in, and we'll ask questions as we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Price and council. This item, from our perspective, is more or less a simple maintenance agreement, but it came to our attention from the Maricopa Flood Control District that there was a stipulated settlement agreement back in 2016 that may impact this project. It may not. And so they asked that we remove it to allow them time to review to see if there's encroachment on their infrastructure and so forth, which I think is appropriate for them to review. But at the same time, the developer is up against time clocks for development purposes and CLOMAR applications and so forth. So to find a solution to support both of their needs, we recommended that we put this back on the agenda and that we move forward to approve the maintenance agreement contingent upon the city being satisfied that any outstanding issues have been resolved in order that the developer don't have to wait another 30 days. As you recall, our next meeting has been canceled due to the League of Cities, and it would not be appropriate to make them wait a full 30 days before this could be heard again. So we would ask council that you give favorable consideration to this matter, but the city will then work with both parties to make sure that the city is completely satisfied that all interests have been protected.
Okay. Council, questions on this item at this time? I know that we've received comments from both sides. Again, I had the opportunity to speak to several of them. You know, my whole thing on this at this time is that you know, dealing with FEMA and a CLOMAR takes a really long time, and so to get that jump started makes sense. But at the same time, we want to be sensitive to the flood control district and make sure that they have their concerns resolved. So I think this is a happy middle ground in the point of making sure that the motion should include something to the effect of making sure that the resolutions or the contingency is there. And I'll actually lean to City Manager Horst for a recommended motion, if you will grant me that, Council. And you know, anyways, that's my standpoint on it. But Vice Mayor.
I have a question. Would it be appropriate if the parties that are part of this process have an opportunity to express on public record why they have those concerns?
Well, the issue is they're not sure if there's an issue or not, and they want time to review it, so I'm not sure they had anything to share. The recommended motion would be to approve with the city not to execute the documents until we're satisfied that all concerns have been remedied.
All stipulations are in place. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Gussie.
Mayor, you mentioned that there's a happy middle ground. Is it appropriate to ask the Maricopa Flood District if it's a happy middle ground for them?
That's at the pleasure of the mayor and council, certainly.
By all means.
David?
David?
Kind of the same question.
David's never had it.
We have representatives from both groups here tonight, I believe.
Mayor, City Council, thank you for the opportunity to address this issue. I'm the district manager for the Maricopa Flood Control District. I can say right up front, we would be satisfied if we just have a little bit of time to review the plans that are being put forth as part of the CLOMAR. It's simply that a few years ago, as they made reference to, there was a stipulated judgment which bound both parties to certain items. We from the district haven't seen anything since 2016 when that was rendered, and so we just want to make sure that nothing has changed.
When you speak about a happy middle ground, has that been put in place so that we don't, they are not affected by any decisions?
Well, that determination is yet to be made. That's why they asked for time to review. I think they could probably make that determination in a few days, and that's why we don't want to wait 30 days to bring this back. We also have Mr. McDonald here in the back representing the developers, if you'd like to hear from him as well.
No, I definitely expressed to you that we shouldn't wait 30 days, but we don't want to make sure we...
The intent is for the two parties to have a time to talk and share the information, and then if it's all been remedied, we can move forward and everyone's happy. Otherwise, we have to wait 30 days to get happy.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gussie, did you want to hear from the other side as well, or?
Well, yes, because I personally haven't heard from...
Sure. Mr. Tom McDonald in the back there.
Mayor and Council, Tom McDonald, Gamage and Burnham, representing Azalta, the property owner. And just wanted to say to Councilman Brown, I'm a native East Side Detroiter, and I didn't realize that my former congressman had that honor, but thanks for sharing that. I had talked to David earlier today to give him more information to share with the board members of the district. And our settlement really arose from a title company action where the title policy that we received didn't show the district's easements. We resolved that issue there. The settlement said that the current wash improvement that's already been approved in our development agreement with the city does not conflict with their easement, and their easement doesn't conflict with the wash improvement. This maintenance agreement does not deal with that area at all, and we're happy to have the plans provided to the district to confirm that. We're just talking about some new channels that have been added in order to deal with an issue raised by Pinal County on a levee. Eliminates the levee that the county doesn't like, adds some additional channels, does not affect the easement at all for the district. And we're not at this time approving plans. So if you approve this agreement, we're just able to move forward with the clomer, but we're not asking you to approve plans at this time. And before we come back to you with the plans, we obviously would like the district to have the opportunity to review and to confirm what we're saying. So that, I think, would be the happy middle ground. If we could just approve our agreement, we could keep moving with the county. Thank you.
Does that satisfy your questions, Councilwoman Gussie? Okay. Anyone else at this time? Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion?
Second.
There's a second.
I thought we had to say what he wanted.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and make sure that we rephrase our motion to make sure that we're, and if Councilwoman Gussie, if you wouldn't mind rolling with that, that would be great.
To approve the item before you as presented, with the understanding that the city will work to make sure that we're satisfied that the issues between the two parties have been resolved, and then we can move forward so that they can apply for their CLOMAR. Otherwise, we would have to wait for the 30 days.
All right, motion is amended.
Okay. And seconded. So it's been motioned and seconded. I believe we don't need a roll call on this. So any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We will go ahead and with a motion to adjourn this special meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. That adjourns this special meeting. And that takes us back to our paused meeting, which we will now unpause and move straight to executive session. So thank you very much for your time tonight. Can I have a motion to move to executive session, please?
So moved.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. The motion carries. We'll see you guys here in about a month as our next meeting is canceled. So we'll see you in September. Thank you.